Making money online has never been easier, and you can thank Matt Garrett for that. In this interview with the NicheReaper creator himself, you'll find out how his product takes all the tedious keyword research off your plate and puts money in your pocket. Hey Matt, how you doing?
Pretty good, yourself?
Good, I'm good, good. Hey, we'd like to thank you for joining us today on the show, and congratulations on looks to me to be a pretty great beginning of your launch. How are you
Yep.
feeling about it?
Yeah, it's been a busy day, shall we say.
I can imagine. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. We wanted to give our audience a little bit of information about how you came up with the idea of NicheReaper. I think it's brilliant, but how do you come up with an idea to actually come up with ideas? Come up with
It's
a
called
niche.
it's called being lazy, basically.
That's it.
Yeah. I've been building niche sites for about 15, 16 years. And my business partner who was doing the same thing, we got to the stage where it was taking more and more time, basically, to come up with ideas for keywords and niches to use. We'd built a lot of sites by this point, so it was becoming, more time consuming just to come up with the ideas. So we needed a way of streamlining that process and automating it. Fortunately, my business partner is a bit of a techie, so we decided to try and find a way of scraping the internet and then for keywords, and then sort of setting up criteria to select only the best ones. Now, we actually started trying to build it back in 2008, but back then we couldn't actually get the data we needed to actually qualify the keywords and make sure they were good quality keywords. So we had to shelve it until 2011, which was when we finally got hold of what we needed to actually build it as a software. We ran it ourselves in-house for about 4 or 5 months to prove it was all working and doing what we wanted. And then we realized that it was getting so much data and so many keywords, we could actually sell it without killing ourselves. So we actually sold the first version back in 2011. This is now the third generation of the system. We've tidied it up, we've rewritten it from the ground up to make it faster and cleaner and easier to use. So that's where it came from. Basically, I don't like to work, I like to earn money, so anything I can do to make life easier, I'll find a way of doing it.
And I've also heard that you've been around a while, so you've had kind of that trial and error, trial by fire. If there was something that could make you money online, you went for it.
Been
Something's
there, done
worked.
it, got the t-shirt, eaten the pie. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that. We all have our beginnings. We all have our ways of coming in. Not everyone does it the same. But I think, as I've been thinking about your product, I've been thinking about how, I mean, the way I do it is I kind of go, okay, well, this is the niche I'm going to enter, and now how am I going to go about it? So there's all these teachers about the how. And I've also seen on your site about what's the problem. Everyone's teaching the how, but nobody's teaching the
How did
what.
you come up with the idea?
Right. So
Well,
tell us about how that saves people backpedaling in this market.
it's traditional keyword research tools. You actually have to have a list of keywords to start with. Traditionally you're told to go to the news agents and look through some magazines to come up with some ideas, or go to Amazon or eBay or magazine.com, and again spend the time searching through those different products and those different ideas to make a list that you then go and research. It made more sense to me to have a system that goes out and finds the ideas, checks that they have value, which we do in the system. So it's not just any old keyword. They don't get dropped into the database until we know they have a real world value. And then you can just search through the database and pick the ones that you like. It makes more
It's
sense.
it's brilliant. I love it. I when I think about that, I think about starting fresh and starting into a new niche just because I want to test it out.
Yep.
But what would you say to somebody who's already in a niche and they're stuck in that niche and they're going to stay in that niche and they don't want to move from that niche and they're kicking against the pricks? What would you say to them?
Is that niche making them any money?
Right.
Surely the whole purpose here is to turn this into a business to make money. So you've got to work on keywords and niches that do actually give you a return. We're often taught by gurus that you should go with your passion. That's fine if your passion happens to be a profitable niche. If it's not, you're kind of stuck, and you'll end up spending a lot of time and effort making zero money or very little. So why not have the passion about building sites and making money, and then find a niche that does make the money for you, or start with that.
And there may be a way, if somebody's stuck in a niche, to use your product to twist it, spin it a little bit and get them in with their same concepts into a new niche, kind of work it that way.
If they've got, that you're going back to a degree to plugging in their keywords that they've already got and seeing if there's something related, which they can certainly do.
Yeah.
It depends on whether we've got related keywords in the database. We, as you mentioned, we go through 25,000 new keywords a day that get researched for the database. So it's a growing database. In fact, at the moment, I think we're on 348,000 keywords currently. So there's quite a lot in there, and it's going up on a daily basis.
Growing, constantly growing. Good. Love to see it. You have a second you can show that to us so that our viewers can check it out? Just quick.
This is the dashboard, and we try to keep it clean, but also quite visual. My business partner for a techie is quite good with the colours and the layout, which is unusual for techies. So, information that we've got. First of all, the source of the keyword. We actually look for keywords in 6 different sources. I've always got to check the list here from my memory. We go for Google, Yahoo, eBay, Amazon, and Bing. That's actually 5. One of the things, as I go through the demonstration, you might notice me checking my other screen for some notes. As I said earlier, I'm quite lazy, so some of the calculations that the system does, I don't have in my head anymore. I don't remember them because I don't need to, because I use NicheReaper. So I might have to check my notes for a couple of calculations. I'm very lazy.
Another reason, it just saves you the work. It's good.
Yeah, I like to be able to just look at the screen, do a couple of filters, and I know what to target. It's done. It's all about saving time, making life easy. Okay, so the information that we have the keyword itself, obviously. We have the difficulty. This is a simple graphical representation of how difficult it's likely to be to rank for that keyword. Now, again, there's quite a lot of calculations going on behind that, but in simple terms, if it's green, it's under 50, and that's the easiest level. Orange is between 50 and 75, and red, those are the hard ones. They're over 75 and higher. So basically just go for the green ones and you should be able to rank pretty quickly.
Cool.
Then we have whether the .com domain name is available. But obviously that does depend on when the keyword was researched. The dates over here as to when it was dropped into the database. These are all fresh from today. But if the keyword, for instance, was researched 4 weeks ago, someone else might have grabbed it. Okay.
Constantly changing, right?
Yeah. So it's just an indication when the keyword's initially researched. Likewise for the Facebook vanity URL. And we all know how much authority you can get from Facebook. So having the keyword vanity URL can be very useful for then sending traffic to your site, or even just running that as a fan page itself.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the traffic value. This is where I need to check on my notes again. Basically, the traffic value is the amount of traffic multiplied, or the searches multiplied by the cost per click value, multiplied by the click-through rate you're likely to get for ranking in Google. So what we're trying to do is, again, keep it simple and give you a real world value for that keyword in a snapshot. So you can quickly see, yeah, that one's more valuable than that one's really valuable, that one I probably don't want to go for, okay? Then we have the AdSense value. That's a longer calculation. Similar again, it's the number of searches times the cost per click times the click-through rate on AdSense ads times the Google cost per click payout rate. So again, we're trying to give you in a really quick form a real world value of what you could earn from AdSense. I mean, AdSense is just one way of monetizing a niche site. It's a very simple way,
right.
And it's generally sort of the lowest hanging fruit. It's not going to be the most profitable. So if there are other ways you can monetize a site, you're likely to make a lot more. So this gives you like sort of a baseline of what you should be able to generate from that keyword. Mm-hmm. Then we have the number of searches in Google. Then we have, if I hover over any of those, you do actually get a little description.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
What each one does. Yeah, we try to keep things simple to use. So having little tool tips like that is quite useful. Cost per click, the average cost per click for those keywords or that keyword in Google. Commercial intent. We all hear about buyer keywords. How do you judge a buyer keyword? A lot of people just say, look, the longer the keyword is, the more likely it is to be a buyer keyword, which is the case. And you've got the number of keywords or number of words in the keyword over here, so you can filter by that. But we also have the commercial intent. Now this is it's based on the number of AdWords in Google for that particular keyword. So
Okay.
if a lot of people are advertising on that keyword, then you know it's got to be valuable. It's got to be a buyer keyword, because people wouldn't be spending money if they weren't making money.
Right.
So the more adverts there are, more AdWord ads for that keyword, the higher the commercial intent.
That's great. That's brilliant.
It's a really simple way of looking at it,
Hmm.
but it works. Again, and we've changed it. Instead of you having to do a calculation, I can see where's the big blue bar, where's the little blue bar.
Yeah.
Keep
Very
it
nice.
simple.
Very user friendly. I see you've got graphs there next.
That's the trend. So the Google traffic trend over the last 12 months. So you can see whether it's going up in traffic or down. Obviously, some keywords can be seasonal, so they'll go down and then back up. But it just gives you an idea of whether maybe something's had its time, whether it's had its day. If it's a passing trend, if it's something that's been and gone, building a website on it when it's bottoming out isn't a good idea.
Yep,
Whereas if you
that's
catch something that's trending up, that's great.
hugely valuable. A lot of the people I've talked to have talked about the trends that have happened over the last 8 to 10 years. This used to be hot. Their list isn't working anymore because the market's changed. It's no longer hot.
The world changes. You've got to keep up.
Yeah,
And this is just a quick way of seeing that for each individual keyword.
love it.
Then, as I said, we have the number of keywords or the number of words in the keyword itself. That can be very useful. Again, you just pop in the number of keywords. Let's say I wanted to search on everything or just look at those that are 4 keywords and more. That's narrowing it down to the long tail, which again is more likely to be a buyer keyword. Then we have the number of results in Google for that keyword. And then we have the date that particular keyword was added to the database. Now, yeah, you'll notice at the moment we have, I'm trying to think, I get confused now, which was the American date format. No, that's American date format, isn't it? Yeah.
I do the same thing. Is it
It was
February or November?
in British date format. We've changed it over to American date format because we have more American customers. Sorry for those of you who are Europeans. Okay, what else we got? We've got at the top here the number of minutes and seconds until more keywords are going to drop into the database. You'll notice that's on 0 simply because I've been sat here chatting, so there's already fresh stuff in there. So if I actually hit refresh now, we'll get a whole bunch of new keywords from new sources, new data. Those have all dropped in, and we can see that little timer has updated. The next set of keywords will drop into the database in about 2.5 minutes. We've popped that there because we know a lot of our users tend to sit with something like an iPad on their lap in front of the TV and hit refresh to catch new things as they drop into the database.
Oh, that's so clever.
It's addictive. I've been there myself with my laptop, just going refresh.
I love how you've been able to take your real life experience and incorporate that into your product to solve the problems that you have yourself.
Again, I'm lazy. If I can help other people to earn money and be lazy, means I can be even lazier. Isn't it Bill Gates who says, I'd rather employ someone who's lazy because they'll find the easiest, quickest way to get the job done?
Yeah, there's some truth to that. There's some
Yep.
truth to that. We see it in real life.
I'm an example of it. Okay, what else we got? We've got totals at the bottom of each column.
Yep.
So you can see a quick value for, basically that's the total for everything that's on this page. At the moment, I'm only showing 50 rows. If I scroll down, you can see that I've got just 50 rows. You can change that. If you want more rows on screen, you can up the number. I just find 50 is most comfortable. And here's the big number, the important one, 348,188. That's the number of keywords currently in the database. And as I mentioned earlier, we're researching 25,000 every day. Not all of them make the cut. As I mentioned earlier, there is a minimum criteria. So they've got to have a certain number of searchers, a certain cost per click, and a certain commercial intent before they'll actually get added to the database. We don't want bad, useless, worthless keywords in the database. We only want ones that are good. So we run every keyword through that sort of first test to make sure it meets the criteria, the minimum criteria to go into the system in the first place.
I love it. And this will be constantly being up. This is constantly updated.
Yep.
So
24
the
hours a day.
information isn't yesterday's. It's rolling.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see the dates, today's date. These have all been researched to date. When we do a few filters, you'll notice the dates change in a moment or two. And the next keywords, if we wait another 10 or 15 seconds, there'll be new keywords drop in when I hit refresh.
Awesome.
In fact, if we wait, what we got? 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. All right. If I now hit refresh, the top one at the moment is carburetor.
Yep.
Carburetor. I hit refresh. No, it still is. Okay. Not got anything new there for some reason.
Yeah. Well, a couple minutes, huh?
Yeah. Need to wait a few more minutes. Again, it may be that simply in that search, nothing's met the criteria.
Okay.
I was saying the keywords have to pass those criteria to get into the database. If that particular batch haven't had any keywords that are good enough, they don't get in.
They don't go. That's good.
Yeah, simple as that. Okay, let's actually do something with the data. Oh, sorry, my screen's wobbling.
You're okay.
My apologies.
No.
Okay, one of the easiest ways of looking at the data is let's just sort one of the columns. So let's sort by difficulty. So we've now got the easiest at the top. Obviously got a blank one in there. There may be some glitches like that in there. Not all data is perfect. Let's also say I want a commercial intent that is greater than, let's say greater than 60. And you'll notice I don't have to hit return. I just type in the number and it runs the filter immediately.
Nice.
And if we scroll down to the bottom here, you can see the number of keywords now has dropped to 228,488 because that's all that meet those particular criteria. So let's add something else in. Let's go for a traffic value of greater than 500. And again, we're now down to 37,000 keywords.
Wow.
You can see you just use the different filters to narrow it down and narrow it down. And one of the other things is you most likely will end up with a preferred set of filters, which is why we've got save filters and load filters. So the standard set that you use on a regular basis, you can save it. But most of our users tend to have a bunch that they play around with for different things because the different filters, the different ways you use them will come up with different results for different ideas.
Yeah.
And that's part of the fun of the system. I'm using the word fun about something that makes money. Strange. Okay, let's pop in, let's say we also want it to be greater than 4 keywords. So that's quite long tail. Right, we've really narrowed the search down. We've still got 2,000 keywords in the database that meet 3 different criteria.
Yeah.
So what we could then do is just have a scroll through, find the ones that we want, whatever they may be, and just click on those to group them. And then once we've got a few that we want, we click on Export Selected to CSV. That's it. We've got our keywords. If you grab them in related groups, that's your site plan. You know, you've got your keywords. Get on with it.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Matt,
Yep.
awesome product. Awesome product.
Thank you.
Great to see it in action. Great to talk with you. Great to meet you. And we'll keep watching the launch. We're confident it's going to be doing well again tomorrow as we report in the news. We'll see.
It seems to be hitting the spot. I should mention as I mentioned earlier, this is the third generation of this system. In the past, we've always sold it as a monthly recurring license.
Okay.
For this 5-day launch special period, it's not a monthly, it's a one-off license, a one-off lifetime license. So yeah, that's making it extremely popular.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've got it kind of staggered. Pricing is increasing.
The pricing is increasing, yes. Yeah. The sooner you get in, the better.
Awesome. Again, Matt, thanks for joining us, and best wishes. We'll be in touch soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And there you have it, a super easy way to discover the next niche you need to dive into to stay profitable. I'm Kimberly DeVries for IM Market News, where we bring you the latest IM news and interviews with the best product creators. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.